We are back. Okay, I know you heard about Russian nuclear power cruise missile blowing up. Okay, yes, it has happened. And now your fucking American media has outed everything. Mini Chernobyl. Now, I know Kid Chronic knows more about this than I do because I don't even want to tell you. Vladimir Putin keeps everything very close to the vest and the chest. Kid Chronic, tell everybody in America about this mini Chernobyl lie.
Okay, so basically, I guess what's happened here is the Russians exploded a nuke over the ocean, basically. That's what happened. This thing blew up and...
On a missile.
Yeah, it's on a missile. So this missile is the same missile that Putin basically had a video, and he had a State of the Nation, they call it over there. So he had a State of the Nation address. He had a video of this nuke. He was displaying like how great it was. And they have the way that this nuke works is it has like a little nuclear reactor on it, so it kind of like leaks and as it's like flying. So they have to test it over the ocean. And then worse, this one blew up. They've called it a mini Chernobyl. 5 of Russia's like top nuclear scientists stayed behind to try to like clean this up, and they ended up dying.
They're dead.
Now another 2 have died. So it's a bit of a mess. And this comes as probably one in a few different events that have happened recently that have really shined a light on how disorganized Russian military is. So Putin paints this picture like he is so in control, this KGB guy, and he probably is in certain factions. But when it comes to the military, it's very disorganized. Let me give you a few things here. Okay, so a series of military mishaps for Putin. Here's one of them. They had 14 sailors died in a nuclear subfire. The sub literally caught fire. Then they had another full sub crew lost when it was at the bottom of the sea and the thing just sunk. It went under. So they've had serious military mishaps. And now they have this cruise missile going over the ocean and this thing blows up. That's supposed to be like their top new military weapon. So I'm just asking, do you think the Russian military is in shambles?
Here's the thing. I think that the Russian military is not as strong as the United States military. I think everybody knows that.
I don't even think it's close anymore.
I
think they have an internet military. They have a meme-making military.
Well, they know what the future's about, much like China. But however, and again, we don't know because that's why they do these tests. It's all about the nukes, right? It's all about
this
the nukes.
particular nuke is called the SSC-X9 Skyfall.
And Skyfall, ironically enough, the name of a James Bond movie. It probably all ties in together. This missile, they say, was supposed to be able to hit an American city in 5 minutes. Like, this was a high capable, very fast, you can't react kind of situation. I think that Russia is a boogeyman as far as militarily because, A, they still are a superpower. If you had to take the top 5 military superpowers, we put them in there. It's all about the nukes, baby. And I don't know what they can test and what they can and what works. And I think that's everybody kind of wonders, like, if you launch a nuke, is it really going to hit? Is it really going to work? As we could see what they did here, no, it didn't. It fucked their own people up. But Russia's power is in the fact that they have a shitload of nukes. And on a side note, I don't know if you know this, but Donald Trump, again, a lot of pro-Russia talk with this guy. He backed out of the nuclear arms treaty with Russia, like not even a week or 2 ago, pissing Putin off. And I think that's why this missile thing happened, by the way, because it was like, oh, you don't want to play now the nuclear missile game with us, and like that we're all sharing the info.
Putin had been ignoring the agreement for many, many years.
Okay.
And so that's, they'd been ignoring the agreement. We knew about it. And so that's, I think, why the U.S. government pulled out. And I'm not sure who in the government decided to pull out or why it was chosen now. But that missile very well may be a response. The other thing that's really fascinating about the Russian military is that they're actually pretty weak when it comes to conventional wars that we have now because they have like no aircraft carriers. They have like one that leaks. The American aircraft carrier, we come with an aircraft armada. So we show up with an aircraft carrier and then that comes with a sub beneath it to protect it and a series of boats around it. And then from that aircraft carrier, we just bombard you with jets, until you basically, your country has nothing left. That's the modern military war. And Russia doesn't even have the ability to do that. So we could pull up off their shore and bomb them to pieces. And there's not a damn thing that they could ever do about it.
Here's what it says here, really quick. President Trump announced in October he plans to terminate the 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces, the INF Treaty, with Russia raising concerns about a return of a Cold War-style tension over the deployment of intermediate range missiles in Europe and elsewhere, and the future of the 2010 new Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty. So they're saying that his sudden decision followed a years-long Russian dispute over whether Moscow has developed and deployed prohibited missiles. So he's basically saying, you're not playing by the rules anyways. We're not going to sit here and play by the rules and stay in this by the way, he kind of did the same thing with the Paris Climate Accord. While people disagree with that, I think his big reason was, first of all, he always said, we will jump back in at any time. My problem is that you're asking America to clean up more than anybody else, foot the bill for more than anybody else. And by the way, China and India, you don't have to play by the rules for 30 years. And a lot of people, if you're pro-American or if you're pro-fairness, should have a little bit of a problem with that. I know we're supposed to spearhead everything, but it's also like NATO. Why did he do that? Because we're the number one muscle, the biggest dick, and the biggest wallet? Come on, man.
Politics is a sausage, dude. You don't always get what you want, and it's politics when you're dealing with other nations. The Paris Climate Accord was the best we could get at the time. It was a start.
Maybe.
You didn't have to stick to it. You weren't bound to it.
Right.
It was a goal. So leaving it was actually completely pointless. It made a point. He's like, you know what? I'm 70-something fucking years old. I don't give a fuck about the environment. That's what he's saying.
He certainly doesn't give a fuck about it on the level that a lot of other politicians do. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. He does not prioritize it the way somebody else would say, hey, and again,
he just went after endangered species. And personally, I think that, things are...
Oh, you saw him stab that manatee on YouTube?
Things are going like endangered all the time. It's like part of like human progress, right? Like you don't have dinosaurs anymore. But I thought that, that's kind of like a general human thing. That we try to save some of these animals. We didn't want to end up on a planet with just us, But I guess Trump's totally cool with that.
If you, I don't know if you know this, but in Florida, the alligator was endangered. It was endangered. Then we bent over backwards to take care of him, rub his belly, hang the chicken from his mouth so he
on the airboat ride, throw him the little piece of chicken.
We even we have a poor man's Disney World where you can go on an airboat ride at some fucking park where you can just be around 1,000 predators. But here's the news. They're back with a vengeance. And now you got meth gators, man. You got those meth gators. Should have let those gators die.
What does it say about humanity that if you just leave humanity untethered, they will find a species of something and just kill it till it's dead? Like, that's our nature. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we come across something, we're like, let's kill them all.
I got news for you. One thing that they want to kill, on a side note, speaking of critters, is this iguana infestation in Florida, especially South Florida, is overwrought with iguanas, and you are allowed to kill them, but you have to do it.
They said by any means necessary.
Pretty much, except poisoning. You can't. They don't want you to. It can't be a slow death.
Because if you poison them, they could get eaten by other animals. It's a whole thing.
That's the other thing, and that they don't want them to suffer. So they literally said, like, you can smash them over the head with a hammer. It has to be instant death. Shoot them, smash them over the head, but no plucking their fingers off.
I see a lot
or hanging them by their tongue.
I see a lot of iguanas around. They're everywhere. They don't bother me, though. I have come to peace with them. I see lizards and iguana all over South Florida. Right. I don't participate in the murdering of them. I know a lot of people are like hip to it now because it's like a thing. It's just bizarre.
Part of the problem is that they are becoming a nuisance. So what is a nuisance is their shit
Are they
going
to run us out of the cities? Like, what's the worry?
Well, the salmonella, and you don't need your dog to bite one by accident and all that. So I don't think you're right. I don't think they're a problem for people other than that they're scary. They don't want one jumping on the hood of their car. But they're a critter like a raccoon.
This is so Florida. We're off into Florida politics now. But this is the dumb shit that Florida does. Florida says, well, we have an iguana problem. So rather than put a team together or hire some specialist, because we have tons of money in Florida, all of our cities have surpluses because of tourism, they empower the citizenry to go around killing these animals. Like, this is going to lead to a myriad of crimes, bad videos, crazy Florida posts. Like, it's just stupid.
It's not only is it taking off, but I'm hearing that rumor is the next Purge movie is going to be Purge 5, the iguanas. And it's not even going to be about killing people. It's going to just be about
Purge 5.
Purging all the iguanas.
Starring Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes.
There's only two things you can kill in America: iguanas and Epstein.
And nobody will mind.